so cool to speak several languages. A foreign language means not only a better job opportunity, better earn, but opportunities to travel, to study abroad, and to have international students all over the world. So in this video, we'll be talking about how to learn any foreign language in a service period. I personally studied so many languages that I don't even remember now. I studied English, I studied Russian, Polish, Turkish, and French. Now I am learning Norwegian. In this video, I will share with you my own experience, how I was learning foreign languages and how I became fluent in them. And also I will give you some recommendations not to forget any language that you have learned. Because the problem with the foreign language is that if you don't practice, you will forget it, unfortunately. This was the case with me with Polish and French, because I studied French for 3 years at university. I was studying in Paris for a semester, and I was really fluent in French, but unfortunately now I have some difficulties to communicate. Polish, I was studying for several months and I started speaking. I was at B2, B1, B2, but after a while again I forgot it. And also I will share with you my experience as an English teacher. I have been teaching English for more than 4 years, and I will give you the recap of what you have to do from the examples of my own students. I think it's much easier nowadays to learn any foreign language and any skills in general, because we have so many tools and applications which can help us. In my case, I was not able to use so many tools because I didn't know about their existence. So my way of learning language is more traditional, but of course it doesn't mean that you have to do the same thing as I'm doing. You can of course combine all of them, or you can choose one of the recommendations and combine it with others. Talking about whether you have to learn language with a teacher or alone, it's up to you. But in my term, for example, I learned Russian on my own without the help of any teachers. And now I am doing the same with the Norwegian language. So you can try to find the balance, the middle point for yourself. But if you have decided that you want to learn the language without any help, then first of all, what you should do, you have to set a goal. What does it mean? For example, why do you want to learn this language? If it is because of the work, if it is because you moved to another country, is it because you want to study abroad, any other reasons? So when you understand why you want it, it's very important, because it can motivate you, because there will be some time during your period of study that you will be very, very demotivated, and you will not be able to see the results, and you will be depressed and stressed. So please understand and set a goal and set a motivation for yourself that can keep you going on this way. The second thing is which resources you will use and how you will use it. In my term, as I have mentioned, I use a traditional way of learning any language. So what I do, I usually get book, an exercise book and a normal book. So which is, for example, for a beginner in that language or for intermediate level. I try to read the book. Mostly it's the texts that I'm reading in foreign language. And what I do, I print the text, I work on the text, I try to read it first without any translation, and then I will try to translate the words I don't know, and then after I start working on it again and again, reading it several times. Why do I do it? Because it helps you to remember the words. Never ever learn by heart the words without any context, because unfortunately in our mind and our brain is structured like that you will forget these words if you don't have the context. And it's easier for your brain to recall the words when you have the context. So try to learn a language. So try to learn and remember a word in the context always. After I read and I work on the text several times, what I do, I find a person who speaks this language very well, and I try to retell him this text. I understand that in most cases people can't find the person who speaks this language, but what you can do, you can just retell the text to your own, to yourself. This way of learning language is much easier for me because I can try to do several things by doing one exercise. I'm improving my reading, I'm learning new words, I'm trying to understand the structure of the sentences in this language, and of course I'm learning the grammar, because after I finish reading the text, I'm going to the exercise book and I'm trying to do the exercises which are connected with this text. So you don't have to divide your activities while learning a language. I mean that you don't have to say, okay, this part I will do only reading, I will do only writing, or I will do only speaking. By one exercise that you do, for example, devoting 15 minutes every day to the language, you can do several activities at the same time and you can improve your knowledge of this language much faster. The third thing that you have to know about how to learn a language, you have to try to immerse yourself, you have to surround yourself by this language. What I mean, of course not everyone is able to travel to the country where they speak this language. But what can I do? For example, if you're learning English, you can try to switch your phone from the language you're using into English. What you can do, you can start listening more YouTube videos, or you can start watching more films or movies, at least with English subtitles. And you can try to find more content, even if you are sitting, for example, in social media and trying to follow more people who are native speakers or who posts content in English. In this case, you will be always surrounded by the language, and you will always read something, and at the same time speak with someone. By surrounding yourself with a language, you will help yourself to learn a language without learning, because sometimes during the week you will not be able to do all the exercises you wanted to do, but in this case you will be hearing something in social media, reading something in news, watching cartoons or films. But at the same time, what you can do, you can practice talking with people who are learning language also. There is very interesting app, it's called Hello Talk. I will share with you below the link. What is this? What kind of app it is? It's a community of people who are learning languages. For example, if your native language is Chinese and you want to learn Spanish, there will be a person who is learning Chinese and who speaks perfectly Spanish. So you can try to talk to this person and to communicate and help this person to learn Chinese, and that person will help you to learn Spanish. It is about practicing. Please practice always. Try to talk, try to read, try to see this language in everyday life, because if you don't practice, even if you speak perfectly in a foreign language, you will forget it in a while. As I have mentioned, I have troubles now with my French because I was fluent, but I didn't have any chance to talk, and I didn't think that it could be forgotten so fast, unfortunately. So try to practice, try to talk, and don't be afraid to make mistakes, because it's normal. It's not your native language and it's normal to make mistakes. If you don't talk and if you don't communicate and practice what you have learned, you will never ever learn a language, unfortunately. The fifth thing that you have to remember, you have to be very patient. Of course, there are different kind of people who can learn language faster, who can learn language longer, but in general it takes time. It takes time, and it can't be 2 weeks or 1 month. Usually to be fluent in a language, it takes more than 1.5, 2 years, but while constantly working on the language. So if you set a goal that you want to learn a language, you have to be very persistent and you have to be very patient. At the same time, you have to motivate yourself not to give up on the language if it doesn't work in the beginning, because most of the people, when they start working on a language, they are waiting for the results right away, but it doesn't work, unfortunately, like that. So you have to to be patient, and you have to praise yourself, and you have to celebrate small victories that you do every time. I don't know, by getting yourself a gift, or going outside with your friends, or I don't know, traveling somewhere. I hope that this video was useful. This was the main tricks and tips that I am using to learn foreign language, and I hope it was useful to you also. Stay tuned, because I will share more on how improve your language skills, and thank you for watching it.